And I pray that 2024 is a much better year than 2023, as we can all know why, right? So I do have 7 resolutions on the agenda, and again for decision in next week's meeting. However, I will ask the table 2.7, which is on temporary power. It's a work in progress, and I hope to have a decision for your decision on Tuesday. So the first resolution is on to authorize expenditure for the procurement of 45-foot concrete poles. Again, we have about 64 units, and our stock level really should be at 189. Of course, we used this during the typhoon and all of that, so we're ready to award it. There's a cost of about $1 million. The concrete pole, of course, has been, half increased, but in the past 2 years have held its price. Before, in 2019, I think it was like 3,000 some, 3,500 or so a year, and now it's about $5,000. But again, we're gonna use less, but we gotta have inventory for typhoons, line extension, until we get our new. At some point, we start migrating to underground systems and a different policy, because to go to underground systems, once we start getting money, funding to go underground, then we also have to adjust our policy of developments. We don't want to be putting overhead here while we're doing underground systems. So that's something that we will work. But again, this is to award, subject to the PUC approval I think 205 concrete poles at a cost of $1 million, and this will come out of our revenue funds under our inventory.
Only one bidder?
Typically, it's only been one bidder in the past. I mean, because we're kind of phasing out. We used to have a power pole construction here, and that phased out because again the volume wasn't going up, right? And stuff. So now we're getting to the end. The island is over 99% concrete pole. I think we have less than maybe 300 or 400 that are still wood out there. And our plans is also to keep changing that out. We did change out a lot, I think, in Mawa and stuff. But then again, we have to hold inventory because the line extensions, until we change our policy that require everyone to be underground, but that's not gonna. We have to see where we're heading with that first.
So this is you have stock at 64. Your reserve stock is should be 189. So the bid, the total number of poles for this bid was
205.
205.
Yeah.
We store them, right?
Yeah.
Up in Derrida?
Yep, we have a storage. And again, everyone actually kind of look to us when they need concrete poles. CUC, even the Navy, other areas, because right now I think the Navy is working on undergrounding their systems also. But in between, we still have a lot of wooden poles within the bases. So we provided them some during Maui. Next resolution is, I'm sorry, that was 2024-10. The next resolution is 2024-11. And this is related to approval for relocation of Gpa Ws. It's always been the plan, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, after we get Ukudo power plant. And if you recall, Gpa Ws was a temporary system that we put in 2015 as a result when we lost Cabers 3 and 4. It's always been the plan to relocate some of those units to the south so that after a storm or we don't have to worry about getting the transmission system all the way from PD or from Barrigada all the way to the south to be able to feed that. So I always said we'll relocate these units to the south and either Umadak, and in this case we're going to be looking at Tenjo Vista. So the opportunity is presenting itself, and again, I don't have our plan is not ready for final recommendation yet, but one of the quickest way to get a temporary power here is to have a Greco. If you recall, the PMC for the Jigo diesels has not gone anywhere for over 2 years. And it's still not going anywhere. And as I noted, really in part of the meeting today, I'm letting you know that I canceled the bid because it's not going anywhere after OPA, and it's going to go again to the court. We're kind of dead of the water, and then by the time we get through the process, the prices will change. Then I go in and ask everybody to change their price. Guess what? Somebody else may protest again. So therefore, we thought in our best interest that we just try and move forward all of that. So I have canceled it with the procurement and informed the OPA and everyone of this. No, so we're adjusting the plans. Temporary power is the fastest by putting it in Jigo because the location is ready. All they have to do is pull out the generators, put it on one side. The generators that are working, put it in one side, and put in the new generators and that operate and maintain it for the next 2 years. So we're working in that scenario. So because we have planned this anyway, we want to start doing it now and utilize it as part of the our capacity recovery. We own land at Tenjo Vista. There's adequate land there to relocate 20 of the Jigo diesels. By relocating it, it provides us the opportunity to improve, to help meet the load shedding blues that we have today, and then furthermore, the long-term needs of the community for the South, because it could also not only serve the naval station, but it will serve all the way to Umadak, all the way around looping to Windward here, Stalapopo, and back to Agat, Santa Rita. So that capacity being there and completely remotely started from there. So this is what this resolution is to get your authorization to go ahead and proceed with this process. First, we have to just design the area and then have a bid for someone to come and repair, relocate, repair, replace, whichever is the most feasible for all of us. But to get that process moving, that is what is resolution FY 2024-11.
John, I recall it started with 1 meg.
Yeah,
Temporary power generators.
in 2015.
Okay, where are we at now?
Right now we're about maybe
Operation. Let's start with the ones that are
8 megawatts.
8 megawatts out of it. Okay.
Yep. And that's been we've been trying for over 2 years to get somebody to go in there and get that repair. Yeah. And
So
we've
the
been
20 that you're thinking of moving are actually operational? Or
No.
we have
they will be to be relocated,
and
repaired or replaced, no? Because sometimes for 20%, 30% more price, you get a new one. Remember that these units started in 2015. So most of them already now are in the 24,000 hours where you have to go in and do a major overhaul. So do you do a major overhaul or do you replace some of it with the same type of units? No? So that's what we will see and try and structure in the new bid, no, or to get that done. But you're right. We have 8, and we continue to try and keep it running. But and we're going to try and see whether we increase that, no? Because the plan again is we agree on 40 megawatts with power. We're going to move all of those out of there and plug in the 40 megawatts so that we have a 40 megawatt strong capacity.
In Jigo or
In
in
Jigo.
Tenjo?
In Jigo.
So you're going to do the 20 in Tenjo, and then you're going to move forward with 40 in Jigo?
Yeah. The first part is really a sequencing.
Yeah.
Right now, the Jigo 40 is only 8, right?
Yeah.
So they're not much used for us, right? But the space and the infrastructure there can accommodate the new 40. So I'm saying let's take all of these machines or If I don't go for 40, I go for 20 or 30. Take those that have to be removed and let Agreco put in their units. And in the meantime, let's make a repair of those, and instead of putting it back when Agreco is back, we'll put it in Tenjo. See?
Just at a different.
Different location. And it's going to take a little longer. It's going to take probably 6 months to get it done. But at least we're still consistent with our overall plan, not just a temporary provision. You know that.
For those larger units, those 6 months, isn't the lead time for those generators pretty long?
Yeah, it could be. But again, it could be because these units are individual, it could be that we can have 5 megawatts in 2 months.
I see.
Another 5 megawatts in.
Just add on as
keep
you,
on
as you
adding.
get
So
there.
we're always improving in our reserve. See?
The current 40 units that are up there, are they all the same model,
Yeah.
make and model?
All the same.
So potentially they can cannibalize a couple units to get 1 or 2 up?
That's correct, and that's what they've been actually doing over this period of time.
We own these, right?
Yeah, we own this. So the plan is to take the 20 to eventually relocate to the south, and the individual wants to relocate to infrastructure within the whole island, no? That will be a benefit, of course, for ourselves and the island. Case in point, maybe some of the DOE schools, no? Put 1 or 2 units there. Another part, maybe communication systems, no? Or put something there.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about, John, working with FEMA, whoever our disaster people are, wherever we have the temporary shelters.
Yep.
Those are the ones who want to power up.
That's correct. So that plan will continue. So our plan is eventually to move maybe everything out of Jigo, right? And why? Well, we have a lot of capacity already up in the north, right? Secondly, maybe perhaps that Jigo area could be used for a battery system instead of more generators, no? The infrastructures are there. So all of those different things will come into play. So again, we're not only implementing a restoration or bringing back enough capacity to mitigate load shedding, but we're also implementing our longer-term plan on how to make the infrastructure stronger for everyone, including, most importantly, we have to provide more capacity to the south.
Can you provide capacity to GMH so they can install 30 split air conditioners?
That's a different discussion, Mr. Chairman. I can discuss that. I can if you want me to, but okay, all right. The third resolution, Mr. Chair, is approval of 2-year extension of RFO number 6. The contract we went out for RFO with Hyundai has a 3-year base and a 2-year one-year option. The RFO is only specifically used for cabers 1 and 2 because they burn heavy oil. So this RFO is residual fuel oil. So therefore, as we know, the delay of the malware caused the delay of Okudu, which means we have to keep cabers running. So right now, if you look, cabers, the cabers won't be retired until sometime in 2026. So right now, this extension for the 2 years will bring us to August 31st, 2026, which falls in line with the retirement of cabers 1 and 2. The retirement of cabers 1 and 2 is under the consent decree within 6 months after Okudu is commissioned. I will be bringing to the commission that right now, or as you know, the date for the commissioning of Okudu is January 2026. We've worked hard with KEPCO and Busan and all of them to come up with a new commissioning date, which I will be bringing to the CCU and PUC for approval. As we all know, every month of delay costs a lot more fuel costs versus the more efficient plan and all of that. So I've taken part of that fuel cost savings and negotiated an arrangement so that they can expedite by providing more personnel doing this and that to complete. But before elaborating, I will have a full presentation on that. But right now, subject to your approvals, September 30, 2026 is the new commissioning. I'm sorry, 2025. Yeah. There must be keep that 2026 out. And in fact, there's even an incentive to get it to September 15, 2025. Now, what does that mean for us? That means that the Ukudu power plant will have to start firing up and being tested as early as February 2025. One unit at a time, tested, whatever, and then one unit, then the heat recovery boiler and the steam turbine is tested with 1 unit, then 2 units, and 3 units. So what does that mean? That means we are going to have some capacity to alleviate the load shedding that we have as early as February of 2025. So again, not only that, but I will save money. So if we assume that that's approved, no, then 3035, you're looking at retirement of cabras by around March of 2026, no? Almost late. Yeah. So therefore, again, so this is the resolution before you for the extension of the Honda RFO, because nobody's going to come in and bid now for 2 years or 1 year on this project. And secondly, we do have the extension options in anticipation of potential delays. And there's also a slight decrease in the pricing for the last 2 years. No? So I think it will save us about $1 million less in the last 2 years of the contract.
So the beginning of the commissioning that you alluded to would be February 2025? That's when they'll start to test.
Testing the units.
And during those testing periods, obviously, they're going to be pushing, a certain amount of megawatts into the grid.
That's right. If we run into issues, we'll just ask them to run in the peak time. No? But sometimes they'll be testing it continuously for so many days. No?
They're burning their own fuel, right?
They'll be burning ultra low sulfur diesel. But actually, no, it's our fuel.
It's our fuel?
Yeah.
But it'll be, we'll be purchasing that part.
But then whenever they actually the way where is our fuel, they're generating much cheaper power. So by them generating, we're not running the other combustion turbines. So we're saving
cost avoidance.
So we're saving money at that time. So again, that's part of the whole thing. So I can let you know that we've been for our discussions. Can we get a credit for the savings? No, you don't get a credit for the savings. We will, So.
Can you go to board books? I just want you guys to explain page number 22, where it gives a breakdown of the contract and the oil. There were 3 types of diesel that were buying. Can you just walk us through that? Because if you look at that thing, obviously the price of the oil is there, but I'm wondering if you can explain why the jump in the fixed premium fee for 1.9 or 1.19 sulfur. This page, John?
1.
No, this one, John. It's page 22 of the...
Oh, I don't. We're not even buying that one anymore. Is it true? Yeah.
This is the table we should be looking at on?
No, I think in the resolution, there is a.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, how do you tie this into that? This particular page here. See this, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
here, right here, the second and the third year.
What we're looking at.
Yeah. See if you see 79, we go down to 75 and 75. So that's the $1 million savings. Yeah. Yeah. So all we're bringing in now is 0.2% low sulfur RFO.
That's all we're really buying
That's
at
all.
that point.
So even in the GM report, you see all the different, this pipe actually fuel.
That we're about purchasing.
But yeah, that we were purchasing total, né? But now we're only purchasing 2 types because and one scabber is retired, which is going to have ultra low sulfur diesel, and then as the commissioner have approved and PUC has approved, the LNG study will be worked on in 2020.
What kind of fuel are we using on the temporary generators?
All the same, ultra low sulfur there. So again, everything is clean fuel, no matter where we put it with a generator, because we're burning 0.0015 sulfur diesel. It's the same thing, diesel that the buses use and everywhere. No? So the island is clean now as of December 2022, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's resolution 2024-12. The next item, Mr. Chair, is the resolution 2024-13, and this is related to approval for the 2-year extension of diesel fuel storage at the TriStar. TriStar is if you recall, is the old Gorko area, right? And we have 2 tanks there that belong to TriStar that we've been leasing, and that tank is providing fuel to MEC 8 and 9, no? And the plan is, of course, once we complete the rehabilitation of our 2 big tanks, tank 1935 and 1934, each with 268,000 barrels, so that's over 500,000 barrels of storage. Once that's completed, we will not need to lease, no? Except maybe as a safety precaution, we'll have some storage, but again, I'm going beyond. But we could eliminate all of the other tanks and just do that. So tank 1935 will be completed right now before the end of 2024. And actually, even 1934, 35 will be completed around 2025, ahead of the Ukudu commissioning. And so, but between now and then, we have to maintain that storage. And again, part of it is because we were delayed with the commissioning of Ukudu and the result of Typhoon Mawar. So again, this is to get your approval to go ahead and extend the existing contract with TriStar for the additional use of storage up at the Tenjo Vista TriStar facility. Next one is Resolution 2024-14. This is a new contract for supply of diesel number 2 to various plants. Right now, we continue to supply, the combustion turbines, pipelines, to all of that. And so, therefore, this is another one that we have to extend or go out actually for a bid, because the bid expires in 2024. And although the Ukudu power plant has a facility for loading, so that we no longer have to go all the way down from Mobile or IPNA down in the port, that will reduce our costs at that time. But in between, we need to keep this in place so that we can continue to provide tankers to this combustion turbine facilities. So again, this is just to get your approval to go out for bid once we do get the bids in, again, we will be back for your approval at that time. But and again, we're going out ahead of time on this one. And then let me see, the last one for discussion today is 2024-15. And this is the month-to-month extension on the professional printing, mailing, and processing. This is the one under protest for quite some time now. So again, if we don't bill, we don't get paid. So it's one of those where we have to continue to extend this until a decision has been made. The OPA, don't correct me if I'm wrong, John, rule in our favor. This thing is before the Superior Court. There's been some issues, I think, with incident, what do you call it, were delays within the court due to, I'm not sure, the change of lawyers or for whatever reason. But in the meantime, we have to keep the press rolling, and this is the extent to it.
This question on the legal side, it's Superior Court, it's with the court. If the court says go back to OPA, we have to go back to OPA?
If they said that, that's what we would have to do. The thing is, what I'm trying to do right now is the other side has asked for other options that would delay things even further. I'm going to try and do something about that right now. So I've sent them an email to ask them why they want to do what they're trying to do.
Can we settle? I mean, is there settlement option? Put this out, just put this to rest and...
Settlement is always an option. I can explore that with the other side.
But the issue becomes a little more complicated there, in that the one that is protesting is the current supplier or the information, but it also wasn't the low bidder in the process. So but you're correct.
Every delay is
we
in
can
their
always
best interest.
try to settle this, because we're not only losing money over time, right? It could be lower costs, but again, this has been going on now for almost 2 years, right?
It's been in court for almost 2 years, and the protest was like a year prior to that. So this has been going on for 3 years.
So this is another example, Mr. Chair, of our procurement process where it's so skewed against the and when we us who represent or work for the ratepayer. So I don't understand. Something has to be done to make that reasonable. When I asking not to be transparent or not to be accountable, then let's get some processes in place that really can save money. We're talking about doing this and that and save the government money. Hey, these are big money, that's impacting us, right? So I won't say too much, Mr. Chair, but there's another case in point, That's all I have in terms of the resolution. I will bring to you temporary power next week, Tuesday, and I hope we're working hard to be successful in that. I do have the GM report that you can, there is 2 things there, Mr. Chair. One that you did ask about on the credit card and stuff. So, is there? It explains it that. There explains it that everything that the OPA has asked, we've complied with now, no?
So in writing, we have the corrective action plan?
Yep.
Yes, submitted already.
Submitted and then in place now, and in fact, even training of everyone. Second part, there is the capacity program, oversight hearing. Is this it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
The only thing I'd like you to go over is just an update on Ukudu, because you had mentioned an advancement in commissioning date. So do we have an update on what caused the advancement? What led to them being able to pull the schedule up?
Negotiation.
Negotiations.
Dollars. Incentive. Meaning for them to get back on track. Remember, they're having difficulty because, of course, you don't get insurance money right away, right? All of those different things. so they can double up the manpower for the critical path, like the tanks and everything, expediting material. But of course, all of that costs. So this is where I will be presenting to you that there's a huge savings for us in fuel costs, over $5 million a month. No?
This is based on having to run that temporary power until it is
Yeah,
commissioned.
running a temporary power, even just a higher cost because of the cabras, no, and all of that. So when you take what is costing us on the average for fuel today, and you compare with what it be with the Okudo, there's a huge.
Yeah.
And this is where, remember, there's going to be a huge savings for our ratepayers once Okudu comes on. So we took some of that, no, and then gave them an incentive to expedite. And so that's why we're able to bring it down to almost 4 months. So I'm working 4 months, right? A huge savings to the ratepayers while giving them an incentive. And then on the front end of it, it helps us to alleviate and improve our reliability because the generators now are producing energy and can be adjusted to produce it when we really need it. No? So that's what I will be bringing before you. I'm just waiting for the proposed amendment from TEPCO, and then I will bring it to you and explain everything. But just giving you a preview of that one. That's how. Yes, we still do. But again, in good faith, they started to go ahead and do the work, still subject to the CC and POC. So it's not waiting for them to do it. I think it has huge merits, huge benefits for us, and it provides them some incentive to move forward.
It's an incentive for them too, right? The
Yep.
sooner they're producing power, the sooner they're getting paid. But
Yep.
what led to the critical path change? Was it just the fuel tanks and the water storage tanks that improved this
Yeah.
schedule? Or?
It's that remember they're already up to the top and ready to put the roof and everything stored. So that means they have to go back and buy new materials, and then they have to move up again. So I think if you look at the GM report all the way to the Okudu, I hope you don't get bored, Mr. Chair. There's plenty of information there. Of course, move forward to the tanks. So there's the construction going on again. Next. Go ahead. Some more. Oop, back up. We need to back up to where the storage tanks are. There, that's one of them. See how there on the right, the left is already up to about to the second level now. So they have to move that and move it as fast as they can. And it's everyone's interest to get it up there and to put the because if it's not, then we have another storm, Mikubako again.
Yeah.
So that's the critical path right now. And then the other one is they are working on the pipeline. I think we're going to get the approval. Yep, there it is. And then they're still waiting on some materials for the treated water tank, but that's a smaller tank.
Is the pipe done already from the wastewater over to?
No, not yet. That's still a work in progress, but it's not the. Yeah. Yeah. So, just for point of information even for the public, I think they're getting approval now for the Route 16 construction. The last leg of the pipeline is from the top of the airport road all the way down to across the Micronesian Mall and across the street. So that's but it's not a critical path. I think they can get it. They're going to get it done in 2024, because to run in January or February, we have to have fuel in tanks. So that's the key there. So they'll get that done. I believe they're getting the approval for that part of the the construction. They're going to also be tying in the power plant to the water system as a redundancy, so that we have the wastewater, and then we have amended this to add them to put in the water site, so that if anything wrong, we can continue to run. For whatever reason, we have two sources of salt water.
Oh, instead of using the affluent from the treated water, if that somehow becomes unavailable,
You can feed it
then
from
we
the island.
purchase water?
Yeah, we'll feed it from the island. But we have to have two, we can, this is very critical to us. So
you need to cool
yeah.
it, right?
So we didn't do that in the beginning because again, it's not the significant part of the contract, but this is the change that you'll see when I come up to bring to you. Okay, so that's the power plant and it's moving. The question that Senator Parkinson had is what percentage? And my understanding is that it's 79.99 almost, so 80%.
Now, when you talk, obviously the tank is one issue, what about the actual power generation side?
Yeah.
That's also 80%? Wind turbines,
Total, yeah,
that's how they do it.
yeah, yep.
All the power generation equipment is in place already.
Yep. That's the key, is that even as early on when they were shipping it here and we couldn't get it up to Kudu, we want it here on the island, no? And so all the critical generators, parts and everything are already installed and being hooked up and everything. And so that's the only key was the fuel oil, of course, and the treated water for the treatment, for the cooling of the system. But that's...
Maybe we should organize a trip out there,
You
Commissioner.
don't do, I'm ready,
Yeah.
you don't do like the cement buildings when you have a topping off ceremony? You don't do something like that?
Right now, Mr. Chair, I just want commissioning, and then I want to be there when they're testing. So that's beautiful power coming out, and again at a lower cost for us. So savings begin because even though the combined cycle, the combustion turbine and the steam gives us 51% thermal efficiency. In layperson's terms, that's like for every gallon of fuel, about 21 kilowatt hours per gallon. Today, the
That is not
combustion...
layman's terms.
I'm
I still
sorry.
have to- let me get on the internet to figure
As layman's terms as possible by this guy. so when you take the average, the combustion turbines that we're running today and everything, on the average, 10.5. So you're going to produce twice as much energy for the same gallon of fuel. Yeah. Now, even that's with the combined cycle. Even without the combined cycle, this thing is more efficient. The combustion turbine is more efficient than even 8 and 9 or Cabras 1 and 2. So again, you're saving already, even if they're testing any component of it.
Right.
And then, so we're providing that fuel, and then if burning coming back in cheaper cost, it will reduce our fuel costs every month, even during the testing period. And stuff. So it's a huge benefit for us to get it there.
So during the initial commissioning, running one CT at 100% would produce how many megawatts?
45 megawatts.
So the equivalent of one of the main prime.
That's
prime
correct.
generators.
That's right. So we're going to have to back off other
the other units.
generators, but when we're backing it off, we're saving money. No? So,
I'm sorry, it's called the transfer station is all set. The one across from the micro mall that's ready to go, or are we upgrading that, the substation?
yep.
But we don't need to start fixing that up.
Oh,
They
they're
did.
doing, yeah. You're going to go back to the further, I think it's further ahead. Go ahead, continue, and I'll tell you when to stop. Almost there.
That's their switcher on their property.
Then that connects to ours.
then go ahead somewhere.
Okay, not underground, John?
No, it's overhead. Part of the reason is that that's 115 kV. And part of the reason is that although technology is improving and maybe it's there, but it's not being. Yep. And there's several lines, no? So one could be, yeah. And then the key here again, it's nice to know that, like other places, I won't mention Puerto Rico, but our transmission system is strong. Look at the one through the mountains. I have to knock on wood. We've never lost any of the towers or the lattice. What do you call that? The towers. We've lost the lines will break off, no? But then we pull it back and change the insulator, and we're back to Maverick. And so these are very strong. We should be able to run through a storm, and we're done. Yeah.
The ones on campus too.
Oh,
My mom's house.
no.
Those are all gonna be decommissioned.
They'll be decommissioned over some time. That's the plan. So then we can get rid. We won't need that, especially when we start going through even underground and all of that. Because the reason why that was needed is because it's carrying remember your caverns 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 8 and 9, the bulk of the power. And the bulk of the consumption or the demand is up north. 60% of the load is in. So now Ukudu is up there, right? To avoid tsunamis, to everything, and make it more stronger. So therefore, again, as we put the 20 megawatt Jigudisu even down at Tenzo, we can operate that if there's a shortage of transmission, so that we won't need the 34.5 anymore, the 115 across that. Okay. The best money is to loop the 34.5 this way and then go all the way around the island and the eastern side, coming down and loop it all the way, which is what we're trying to ask the military to help us with. Not underground. Don't just underground one end, no? Just underground this way, because again, typhoons, national threat. Some area got bombed here, you feed,
And you almost have the underground loop up north, right? Completed, right? Just got one more
Just
section.
one more section, and the whole north is really well strengthened for the military and the community up there. So now the next phase is underground for the south. And once we do that, plus the added capacity, it's only we'll get back storm recovery, and actually it comes to a point that we can almost run through a storm even for the south if we underground the distribution system. See, that will be and I'm looking maybe the next 2 decades. No? You do that. So.
Anything else? Guys?
Nothing for me.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
To adjourn?
Second?
Thank you. Another 2 decades.